So we're gonna start off with an introduction, if that's all right. So you can start with your name, age, where you're from, or anything else you feel like the um, viewers should know.
All right. Yeah. My name is Samuel Kangethe. I'm originally from Kenya. I've been here for 13 years. I'm 36 years old. Actually, I just turned 36 years old yesterday. And I did direct care for about 11 years. So yeah, I worked with different people with different needs. And yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot to say happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's great.
Yeah.
And then I was actually going to move on to ask what your, profession or job was at the time. And if you wanted to give a little more detail just about the general title and some things you might have done in the day,
Okay.
that could.
Yeah, so for those 11 years, I did direct care as a direct support. Oh, we used to call it DSP. It's direct support professional. So yeah, I did that for 11 years, and that involved going in my work. The first thing I was do is going through the charts to see, what the previous shift did for the people that we cared for, and then we will take on from the shift that was leaving, and the job just involved taking care of people, as I said, with different needs, and to meet their activities of daily living. So that means from anything in between, from shower, brushing their teeth. If somebody cannot go to the bathroom by myself, we used to help. I used to help them with that, and making food for them. If they can feed themselves, we used to feed them,
Mhm.
and also help with medication. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like, helping people who cannot do, or they cannot meet their activities of daily living,
Right,
just try to like live um, and accomplish their needs for whatever they needed.
right. It sounds very kind of broad based. You never know what you're going to be doing at every given moment, at least.
Right. Every day was a different day. Every day was different. Like you just can't say I'm so experiencing this, because every day presented new challenges. So you always have to be, alert and stuff like that, and always be on the lookout for something that's new and unusual, and the best way to deal with it is.
Right. Um, and with those tasks that you did every day, no matter how broad they were, did you find them at any point mentally or physically demanding, or did it kind of, in a way, come easier just because of how much you liked that profession?
Actually, sometimes I think it was more like a mental challenge, because, if it was me, you kind of like, you're a different person from the person that you're taking care of. So for them, you have to like meet their needs before you like kind of like, oh, this is how I'll do it if it was me. Because you have to remember that it's not about you, it's about them. So when you're presented by new challenges as yourself, you will deal with it probably differently from what the other person will deal with. So you kind of have to like communicate with them first. And sometimes like what they need and what probably you believe or what you can do, kind of like, present a conflict. And that's why like sometimes, as I say, sometimes it's kind of like, mental stress about it, and mentally stressful, but you always had to find the best way to mitigate that.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense, honestly.
Oh, it does, because you can imagine, you imagine that, you imagine like, as you, this is how you tie your shoes, but somebody else is telling
Mhm.
you, no, 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 don't tie my shoe like that. You tie the shoe, and if you do it your way, saying like, oh, this is the best way, you kind of like, making the whole shift gonna be mad, because that probably that person kind of affects their feeling, their mood, and all that kind of stuff, which also comes back to like, make your work even harder, because you don't want to deal with somebody who's not happy. So
Right,
at
right.
best we had to like do what they want to do as long as it's safe for them and it's safe for the rest of the people that live in the house or their surrounding.
I can't imagine. A lot of respect goes towards the people in that profession, honestly.
Yeah.
And with people who weren't in that profession that you might have known, or um, did they have any misconceptions about what you do? Maybe underestimated the work that's done, or has it been generally supportive?
I would say for the most part, it was generally supportive because most people like I met that were not doing that. So that would mean like case managers or the family, like the family, of the people that I took care of. They first of all they appreciated that there's somebody who's like really taking care of the people they love. And but with that also family like came with challenges and stuff like that, and there's as a family member you came to visit your dad or your daughter or your son and you feel like they need more attention, but you kind of like remember like most of the time I used to work in a facilities which had like six patients or six residents in there, and so you cannot like just give your whole attention to just one and leave the others. So you kind of like, you do what this one person needs and then you move on to the next, but you also keeping an eye on your surrounding. Like you have to know what all of them are doing, but you're not giving them one-on-one attention. So sometimes, they will come in and they do not understand that. And they think like, oh, my son lives here. He needs to be taking care of this and this and this and this. And so it's kind of like sometimes create like a conflict, but if it's something that we could not handle it, we would escalate that to the management, which were in a better position to speak to the family than we were.
Yes, yes. And if you're comfortable talking about it, were there any specific reasons or anything that led up to you ultimately, leaving that profession and moving on to something different?
Actually, no, there wasn't any reason. The only reason I left that profession is because, as I said, I was going to school for accounting. That's what my career is accounting. My professional career is accounting. So I was going to school for accounting. So when I graduated, I moved on to the line of career that I went to school for. So I was basically doing healthcare and caregiving, just to get by, pay my bills, and support my family. But when I graduated with my accounting degree, I moved on to that line of profession.
Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just need to do what makes sense for you at the time, and then if you need to move on to something important like school, that of course needs your full attention. I would
Right,
know.
right.
Um, and lastly, it's kind of a cheesy question, but do you ever find yourself missing that job or missing what you do? And if so, why?
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't miss the job. I don't miss the job that I did, but I do miss the people, the interaction, the what do you call it? The human interaction of that job. Like, because you are constantly talking to people. Like, once you get in, we start at the start of the shift to the end of the shift, you constantly talking to people. So I kind of miss that aspect of it because, now I do accounting and all I do is, go to work in the morning, sit at my desk, do my thing at my desk, just, talking to no one. And then, I'll talk, I'll say hi and hey there and there, but that's about it. But that kind of job like gave me the human interaction, which I kind of like. I love people and like to talk and stuff. So you kind of like I'm missing that part of aspect of it, but I believe I'm doing what I like doing, although I don't get that human interaction as I would like.
Yeah. As we all know, going through a 2 year and ongoing pandemic, it can be very hard to not have that human interaction.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for
Yeah.
answering those questions.
Yeah.